Hey everyone, this is Aaron, and this week's topic is how your genderqueer identity no, actually, I don't really understand what this week's topic is about. I think it's about talking about identity in high school or middle school or just any school, and how you identify or how others identify, how people dealt with how you identify. I don't really understand. Moobflashes. But okay. So let's go back to kindergarten. Primary school. Can you call it primary school? Well, as a little kid, you don't know what sexual orientation or gender identity is. Well, some people know. Some people know at age 4, age 5 that they were born in the wrong body. Or some people are 6, 7 years old and they know that they are gay. But I didn't have that. And I don't think other people around me had that. Although you know, you cannot be sure. It was until age 9, 10 that I first started to fall in love. Well, I had boyfriends in first grade. Was it first grade? Like when I was 5, 6 years old, I had multiple boyfriends. You know, just holding hands and giving each other kisses on cheeks and stuff. But it wasn't until I got 9, 10 years old that I first was attracted to women. Older women. I fell in love with my teacher. I never really thought that was weird. I was always very, very jealous when they had boyfriends and husbands and stuff. And then at age 10, 11, 12, I fell in love with a girl in my class. And I knew that people would, see me as a lesbian girl, but I didn't identify as a lesbian girl, because I knew that I could also fall in love with boys, just not as much as I could fall in love with girls. But I never thought it was weird that I liked girls. And then when I went to high school, first 2 years, I thought that I was a bisexual girl, and okay, I didn't like being called lesbian. I hated that very much. Now I understand why, because it's really a female thing, like for women to be lesbians. I mean, there are some trans men, genderqueer people that call themselves lesbian, but still identify quite male or masculine, and that's okay. You can call yourself whatever you want, but I always saw lesbian as a female thing. So I did not like being called female, but I didn't really understand why. And then I went through puberty, and I didn't like things that were happening to me, like getting my period. But who likes getting a period? My boobs started growing, and I did not like that too. I also thought other girls had that too. I didn't like that I didn't get a little voice, because I was jealous of other boys that I wanted to have a little voice and stuff. And so I was kind of jealous about what happened to the boys, and I did not like what happened to the girls. But I could not really label that or call it anything, something like that. Then I did kind of those feelings, just forward feelings kind of went away. And I just did it as a girl, although I never really identified as a girl. And I didn't think of myself in terms of gender. I honestly believe I never really did that. I knew that I looked like a girl, but I was a very like butch girl, and I just looked however I wanted to look. I never really went along with what other girls did. I was always like different stuff, and that was hard sometimes, but okay. I don't know, I went through it. So then at age 16, 17, I started to doubt my gender identity again. And then I heard some negative stories about a classmate who knew a girl who was transitioning to become a boy. That's how she called it. And I kind of like recognized the signs in how she explained to me how that person was. But she was very negative about it, and I thought, ooh, people are very negative about this. And it is possible, but people are very negative about this. So I might not want to talk about this to anyone. So those feelings kind of sort of slipped away also. Then at age 19, 20, I came across other people who were transgendered and who were transitioning from female to male. And I started to recognize the signs again. And I knew that I wanted to talk about this with the people who were, who knew something about that. And I wanted to physically look like a man. So I wanted to transition from female to male. And at first I really identified as a male. I tried to be tougher than I actually was. I tried to be more masculine than I actually was. But I never really felt good. I also think people saw that it didn't do me any good, that I wasn't that person. So then I started to identify more as a trans man, like don't hide that I was born female. And all through school, and everything went quite easily, although I never really talked about it with people in school, not with teachers or deans or anything. Only when I came out as a bisexual girl in high school, early high school. That's when I got bullied, and people kind of hated that. And my best friend was at that time was also bisexual. He was a boy. He identified as a boy, cis man, and we were kind of the outcasts of the school. We were the only ones who were willing to talk about it and come out. And people did not appreciate it at that age. And then later on, I fell in love with another girl in high school, and I told her, and she was like very popular, and that's when I got bullied too, because people thought like, yeah, she's in love with a girl, and stuff. But other than that, everything went okay. I was bullied, and I transferred from school to school, from one school to another school, but looking back at it, it wasn't really that hard. Although maybe that's because I'm now more older and more mature, but back then I was like, oh, it's so horrible. But looking back at it, I don't really think it was that horrible. So then I went to college. I went to another school where I was transitioning, and at first, when I started in the gender clinic, and I was still identifying as a trans male, I did not really talk about it with anyone. But then when I knew that hormone therapy was like coming in closer, I started to talk about it to my classmates, and I came out as a transgendered male and stuff. And yeah, so that went okay. And then now I'm like in the translating academy. I'm studying right now, and people there know that I don't fully identify as male. They knew that I was trying to look for a unisex name at one time. They see me as male, they view me as male, they refer to me as male, but they don't really know about how fluid my gender identity is. They don't really know they just thinking man, female, and I don't think that they would understand if I would tell them. So I only tell people that are close to me about my gender queer identity, and then I don't really fit the binary of man, woman, trans woman, masculine, feminine, those kind of things. And I still don't really know how to label myself, and I don't think I should, so it's really hard to explain to other people. So I just tell people at school right now that I was born girl, but I mostly feel like I'm a man. That's what I tell them, and sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not. And my genderqueer identity also comes in my sexual orientation, and I tell people that it doesn't really matter what I'm attracted to. People often think that I'm a gay man, but I'm not. And at one time I did not really like it, but now I don't care anymore. So my genderqueerness in terms of my sexual orientation, I identify as pansexual if I would label myself, but I don't really tell that to people, and I don't really talk about that to people, so people don't really know anything about that. So yeah, I did not really understand what was the point of this topic, so I just rambled, and I hope you understand what I'm saying. And if you have some questions, you can always ask me. And I hope that my moves were not that much on the camera as I think they were. I was just undressing and putting my pajamas back on. So yeah, you can ask me anything you like. And if I did not really understand what this topic was about, I'm sorry. But I hope it was a nice story though. Okay, bye.